Roose Bolton seems to be obsessed with leeching, something more than one character points out. This practice has even earned him a nickname, the Leech Lord. But why is he so obsessed with these little bloodsuckers? This is part 1 of Roose Bolton and his leeches. This video we will discuss 2 theories explaining why exactly Roose uses leeches. The first theory revolves around Roose using leeches as a way to maintain his health. I know, not as exciting as some of the other theories, but still important to cover. Roose appears to be a bit of a health nut and believes that leeches help maintain harmony of the body. Roose has been very upfront that he believes leeches suck away the bad blood, all the rage and pain. When looking at this belief held by Roose, it sort of sounds like he believes in something similar to the 4 humors of health. The 4 humors, blood, phlegm, black and yellow bile in the human body, were coined in ancient Greece, and they believed the 4 fluids needed to be balanced in order to have good health. If any of these were imbalanced in any proportion, ill health would result. This could be a physical ailment or temperament problem. The 4 humors even state what some of these excess fluids would do. Black bile would cause melancholy, yellow bile would create mania. Bloodletting was one of the methods physicians would use to balance the humors and rid the human body of excess. Exercise, reduced food intake, vomiting, and sweating were other methods. Interestingly, bloodletting wasn't just found in Greek history. Many ancient civilizations practiced it, and leech therapy wasn't uncommon. The leech has been used for thousands of years for health purposes in our own world. Even in the A Song of Ice and Fire world, we see other people besides Roose using leeches for health benefits. Qyburn uses leeches on the mountain after his fight with Oberon, but the leeches keep dying. Maester Coleman uses leeching on Robert Arryn to deal with his shakes and other ailments. In addition, other maesters and healers talk about using leeches all throughout the books. Roose appears to believe strongly that getting rid of this excess fluid, his blood through leeching, evens out the temperament and rids him of this excess, unnecessary emotion, just as we hear another maester say in the books. Some believe this might be part of Roose being a health nut and maybe him seeking to extend his life as long as possible. Why do some think Roose might be a health nut? Well, do we see Roose being health conscientious any other time? Yes, when he offers prunes to Jaime. He states they help with digestion and move the bowels. Jaime even jokes a little bit later that he doesn't believe Roose is trying to kill him, as why would he waste his precious prunes on him if that were the case? We can go further and point out Roose doesn't drink ordinary wine or mead. He drinks hippocras, a drink made from wine and mixed with spices and sugars and strained to remove impurities. This wine was used for medicinal purposes, among other things, in our own world. Our doctors of old were known for prescribing it to aid in digestion. If the use of leeching in their world is believed to help just as it did with ours, Roose's leeching, along with his hippocras and prunes, could actually all be due to him simply being a health nut. I think this is a strong possibility, and as far as Roose knows, it is working. Roose says frequent leechings are a secret to a long life, and he doesn't appear to have wrinkles or look his age at all. If you were getting those kind of results, you'd swear by your methods as well. Alright, Roose leeches for general health benefits and is a health conscientious guy. That's one. Why else could he be leeching? Still on the physical health side, let's look at Roose maintaining health through leeches not because he believes in the 4 humors or keeping his fluids in balance or is health crazed. Roose bloodlets because there is a genetic disease or disorder in his line. A genetic disorder where bloodletting is actually recommended. I had a discussion with someone a few years ago about Roose bloodletting because he has iron overload, or hemochromatosis. When I went researching into this, I didn't really see anybody else talking about this, which I find kind of interesting. Iron overload is a genetic disorder that causes the accumulation of iron in the body. To get rid of this iron overload, people must have regular bloodletting appointments. Could this be the reason for Roose's frequent leeching? Let's look at some of the symptoms and signs of this disease and see if Roose could have it. We'll start with 2: slate gray discoloration of the skin and testicular failure. Okay, we know Roose has been described as having grayish skin. Testicular failure? Some signs of this are lack or slow hair growth and loss of muscle mass and a softer body. Roose has been described as hairless and having a soft body. He's often beardless, but that doesn't mean he can't grow a beard. That seems to be a check. Another symptom, lack of sex drive. Yes, Roose does admit wanting to have a miller's wife, but he is also kind of dispassionate about the whole thing. Did he sexually want her, or did he want her because of the power, taking what is his? Roose is described as not having a lot of passion by other people. He is a cold man. Decreased fertility. Roose only managed to have one heir and Ramsay in a long span of time. But we do know he had other infants die in the cradle. Were these the rare ones Roose was able to get his wife pregnant with? Did these children die due to having this genetic disease that killed them too quickly? Neonatal hemochromatosis does occur, and the prognosis is extremely poor. In medieval times, survival rate of those infants were extremely low. That could explain all the infant death with Roose Bolton. The other signs of testicular failure is a decreased chance of having a deeper voice. Roose is described as having a quiet, whispery voice. It is so soft that people strain to hear him. Is this some sort of psychological game on adjusting his voice on Roose's part? Or because he has this genetic disorder and his voice never deepened as much as other men? He could also talk softer because he doesn't want people to hear his lower, less manly true voice. The other signs of iron overload, liver problems, joint and bone pain, and arthritis. All symptoms Roose could be taken care of with his bloodletting. If Roose is in pain, I doubt he'd let people know. A point of view in Roose's head would be amazing though. Lastly, people with this disease can also develop diabetes, which can create issues with their digestion. Is this why Roose is so fixated with his prunes and hippocras? Just reading about these signs and symptoms, there is a chance Roose could have this disorder. However, having these symptoms doesn't mean that he does, and even people with this disease don't always show some or even any of the signs. Go to WebMD and enter symptoms, and I'm sure you'll have 4 different types of cancer. So, Roose could be bloodletting to keep this genetic disorder in line, or he could simply be bloodletting for health purposes. Alright, here's where I deviate from this video topic just a tiny bit. What if Roose killed his one-time heir, Domeric, because of this? Some have speculated that Roose killed Domeric because he didn't match Bolton qualities, but what if Roose killed Domeric not because he didn't, but because he did? What if Roose doesn't want to pass on this weakness to any future Boltons? What if he kills any child that shows signs? Did Domeric finally show the symptoms and Roose decided he had to go? Ramsay is described as having pink blotchy skin. Maybe Roose doesn't believe he has this genetic weakness and wants to make sure his blood passes down through his unaffected son. Like I said, way left field here. Okay, so I presented 2 theories on why Roose might bloodlet, health nut, or dealing with a genetic disease. I'm going to cover other theories involving Roose Bolton and his leeching, so if you don't believe either of these theories, don't worry. We're getting to the juicier, more tinfoil-y stuff. New Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire videos every Sunday and Wednesday, and maybe other days. Besides that, come back for comics, Star Wars, and Walking Dead reviews.